Okay. You. Oh, we lost one. Hello. When last we left off, you guys had ventured into the Blood Bank of Ventus on a mission from the Vampire Dwarf Hardhold to clear it of dangers and hopefully one day bring it back online to serve the local population of vampires. You avoided the Tabaxi City Guard, who were patrolling the Northern Heights district, and when you made your way in, you found the facility in variety of states of decay and sort of lots of graffiti artists made their home here. You found several journals that detailed the history of the facility, as well as some coded poems, or you found a journal, I should say, as well as a second journal that had some coded poems that seemed to hint at the mechanisms within. You found a broken automaton upstairs that you left, and there was some loud banging behind a hidden door in the room that you're in now. You followed the guidance of the poems in the hopes to pull the levers in a way that would disable the defenses of the facility. But in your eagerness, did not account for any rust damage on these levers that made them difficult to pull, and as a result, unleashed the Guardians. And that's where we left off. You guys are at the top of round 4 in this pretty difficult combat. Drada, you are at the top inside of your rope trick.
Great. Yeah, Drada's in his cave. Yeah, like in the closest thing he has to a place of safety. Just vibing is too kind a word, kind of just like pacing really fervently, frantically, like just trying to like get a grip on himself. Because he sure still is frightened somehow. And the only thing, and this is funky, and I need to check if this still allows me to do this. No, I can't cast any spells or anything that go past the exit of my little hidey hole.
Yeah.
So yeah, Drada's really gonna like spend a turn pacing and just having a general bad time. There's not a ton else he can really do. I'm happy to roll that concentration check.
Yeah, if you could first start with the concentration check for Entangle. But I will allow you, being as that you are so secluded from sort of the material realm right now, after your concentration check, I will allow a wisdom saving throw with advantage to try to steel yourself once and for all.
Ooh. I'm trying to remember what am I rolling for concentration?
Constitution saving throw.
That's what I thought. Thank you.
Okay. So you were entangled.
Entangle is good.
And it would have been gone at some point, but
yes,
it's I think battle is close enough quarters right now. Yeah, so wisdom saving throw with advantage. The DC is 15.
Well,
with advantage?
No. So Drada's gonna keep pacing and having the worst time.
And that is unfortunate. You still, I would say that stealing yourself was an action. I don't know that you have any bonus actions that would really make any difference.
I'll bonus action hide just because I can.
Okay. That'll help if and when you come out of the hole as well, to sort of like control your breathing and such.
Yeah. But no one can hear Drada. So it's a lot of just like, if you could listen, it's a lot of like, oh, okay, cool, like voice, like much higher vocal fry, a lot gone. It's bad time. It's a bad time.
Okay. Go ahead and roll that stealth just because, but the next in the turn order is one of the Blood Guardians at the door. Let me just. It's going to start its turn by seeing if it gets its luminous burst back, which it does not. And in this moment, so we had sort of talked about this earlier, Flint, but sort of in your prone state, are you trying to keep things out of the room, knowing that you would then be the only thing in range to attack?
Yeah, I think so. I think Flint's determined to try and hold this door.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an athletics check as this Blood Guardian tries to push past you. Okay. See, not that bad. I mean, you are prone. So I think it's just sort of like you raise your shield to the point where it can't step over it.
Fair enough.
And it is going to, in a nonplussed way, reach down and slam you. I assume a 25 probably hits.
Yeah, I think even with a shield that would hit. So
it needs to roll. Needs to roll to see if it would have gotten its blood purification back, and it does.
I've been trying to figure out if I have my reaction or not, which I can't remember if I do based on last session, but
I would say you do, just for the sake of ease.
Okay, I'll try to silvery barbs that roll.
Do you have to see the target?
You magically distract the it's just verbal. Magically distract the triggering creature and turn its momentary uncertainty into encouragement for another creature. See within range.
So, okay, I'm going to say because it's attacking Flint, its arm is reaching into the room, even though it's not the one in front of the door. It's one that's above that one.
I see. I cannot see that on the screen, so that's your call.
Yeah, but as it's reaching in to grab Flint, I think you would see it.
I'm like, oh no!
Okay, so we will re-roll that. I'm just going to do this to give it disadvantage. And that is a miss. Who do you give advantage to?
I'll put it in chat just so it says that I used it. I guess I'll give the advantage to Flint.
Okay. It is going to make its second attack.
all right.
You can stop one. Damn it.
22.
That I will shield.
Okay.
That'll get me to shield is +5, right?
Correct, yes.
Yeah, because that'll get me to 24.
Okay. So Aesop throws out the silvery barbs and deflects the first attack giving you just enough time to raise up your force field against the second fist that was swinging down. And it will stay there. Flint, it is your turn. Your blood is currently corrupted. So we are going to roll 2d8 plus 4. As you suffer just sort of 11 radiant damage as you feel kind of like some form of energy pulsing through your blood.
Very, very glad for that silvery barbs right now, because that would have put me unconscious again.
Oh really? Oh god. Okay. I'm glad I made that. Okay. Ugh.
Okay.
Currently
I don't.
prone.
Yes. Which I can't see any scenario where Flint wouldn't stand up, so I will use half my movement to stand up. I don't think we ever rolled damage for or accounted for damage on my Eldritch Cannon thing. But it has 45 hit points, so I don't think that one blast that it took could have killed it.
Yeah, I would say don't worry about it for this moment.
Right. Well, I will start with bonus action using that.
Okay.
Which I think will hit all of us in the room.
Yeah. Everybody except Drona, of course.
Yeah.
As the force field pulses out and surrounds everybody in kind of an electronic energy for 12 temporary hit points.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And with that, I don't think I've got much other than to do another shatter, and try and hit these two out in the hallway.
I will not tell you what to do.
Oh.
Clax cannot occupy your square. So.
Not worried about that.
Okay.
Sorry, just
no. But
I
then
don't wanna...
I'm not trying to manipulate you because you know that these guys have a anti-disengage attack. So I'm not trying to get you killed. I'm just sort of pointing out the tactical situation.
Friendly reminder.
But if you would like to shatter, feel free.
I could try and Thunder Wave to try and get some space, but that's a very loud ability. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead with Shatter again, I think. That.
Oh my god!
Ooh,
wow! Roll your
wow.
extra arcane firearm thing. I assume you're targeting just the two outside the door, so as to not hit your party. Okay.
Yeah, not trying to kill all of us. Okay. Just targeting, somewhere out in.
Okay. Disadvantage because they're constructs. Advantage because they have magical resistance. So straight rolls. Not good for one of them.
Yeah. And
they are vulnerable to thunder damage. The one, sort of checking. Okay. The one that is sort of directly in front of the door does sort of go into that deactivated state. Trying to figure out a way to visualize that because I know it's confusing last time. I'm going to just move him back a square just to sort of indicate that he's out of it for now. The one just to the north of him seems to be on its last legs, as it's sort of like you see the eye, the glowing eye of this machine sort of blinking in and out as it's trying to maintain its status.
I think Flint is a holding this doorway, but is definitely looking rough and whatnot. And maybe blurts out, "Yeah, I probably had that coming." That's all I got.
I turned this one upside down. Great. Clax, it is your turn. You have recovered from the whiplash of the prior turn when you had been haste stunned.
I think, does Flint get to save against?
Yes.
Because I was going to wheel that and give you the d6.
And you have advantage.
Yeah, for Silvery Barb. So you're trying to shake off the blood purification.
Is this Constitution?
Yeah, con save DC 15.
Oof.
Is controller shift advantage?
Shift is advantage, I think.
Plus the D6.
I needed 15
plus D6 from the wheel.
D6.
Right. All right.
Yeah,
well,
which is a guaranteed success.
Cool.
Okay. You feel in that moment, and thanks for the reminder about that. You feel sort of, whether it's your blood sort of resisting or fighting off this effect, you feel like what was an inner warmth start to return to normalcy as you sort of like shake off some fiery goosebumps that were happening.
can do this all day.
Can you? Clax.
Okay. Odd question. If I take the attack action, I get 2 attacks with the attack action. Can I attack, then do things in the middle, and then use the other attack action?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I think I'm just gonna do it because this is the guy that looks the least beat up, right?
Correct. Yeah.
How do I want to do this? I think I'm still gonna stick with my original thought because we got some more help in here, and then it's only one striking just in case the other one comes up. So, first thing I'm gonna do is bait and switch with Flint. So I'll go ahead and throw that in there, and then and I will give him the AC bonus. So me and Flint will switch places. He's now got, I believe, a 25 AC or 26 AC.
Give or take.
Well,
So-
my shield is still in effect until. Oh no, because I went.
No, yeah.
So okay,
But still, 26.
26.
Okay, so that takes care of that. Then I'm going to go ahead. So for the one that is incapacitated, trying to remember back to the last session, they reanimated after a period of time, or
You never actually saw that happen because
okay,
when these things have detonated with their luminous beam, they've seemed to be almost finishing each other off in a way that is semi-permanent. So I'd say just give me a free perception check, and we'll say DC 12.
okay. Perception.
Okay.
Nope. Okay.
You're not sure. You see that it's like you see some lights still blinking, but you don't have any idea how fast it could reconstitute itself.
Then I'll go ahead and take the attack action against the one just north of it that is still functioning.
Yes.
Let's go ahead. Oh, why am I forgetting how to use things? There we go. Wow, difficult. Wow, that is fantastic.
It's
Great
amazing.
damage roll. So I guess then I will go ahead and take the second attack. There we
much
go. That's better. Damage was not nearly as good, but so yeah, so 27 to hit for 11 slashing.
Yes.
Is it-
Sorry.
is
No,
it-
you're sorry. I was just looking at something. It does still appear to be up.
Okay, since it still appears to be up, I will go ahead and bonus action, bash it with my shield.
Okay.
And so it's athletics if I remember correctly.
I believe so. Yes.
And so we'll go ahead and roll that. Get the bad rolls out of the way. Oh!
There you go.
Yeah, is it not? I get the choice of
Oh
prone.
yes, you get prone or 5 feet back.
Can I knock it prone?
Sure.
Then I will knock it prone.
It is
And
prone.
so, yep. So moved, bonus action. That's it.
Plax is strong and in front, and now it is Aesop.
Cool. The robot golem thing, that's the least hurt one out of the bunch, right?
Is the one inside the room? Yes.
Yes.
It's the least hurt.
Okay. Then. Okay. How long do you have your boosted AC, Flint? How long does that last?
Is
Till
that
the start of my next turn.
Okay.
Okay.
And then Mouse, how are you doing? Health wise?
I'm about half. I'm not worried about me.
Okay.
I am gonna drop your size though on my turn.
I was about to say, we'll get to it. I think I'm gonna do what I did to the other guy, and I'm gonna do a psychic lance on the golem that's inside, and that is an intelligence saving throw. Not great damage, but
Not great, but I don't think it has high intelligence. So technically, it does have advantage on this roll, though. So I'm going to. Okay. Yep. It totally fails. And is incapacitated because of that failure until the start of your next turn.
Yep.
So what does that look like to slam psychic energy into something and disable a robot?
Oh God, what does that look like? I know I briefly described it last time, trying to remember what I said. I think I imagine that my book is out floating in front of me, and with my large state, I imagine that it's just a bigger book, and like a tiny bead of like ink energy like lifts up from the book and into my like it just like morphs into my brain, and I shoot it out at the golem, doing the damage.
Although you don't, although clearly this is not a tremendously intelligent creature, something perhaps, you're going to have to digest this later, but something with the way that the creature interacts with your psychic energy does seem to make it shudder. It almost behaves semi-human in that way, as it sort of starts to grasp at its own head.
Oh, it's almost like it reminds me of what you just said, Cyberman from Doctor Who. Ugh.
Are you staying put / you still have a bonus action?
I still do have a bonus action, but I don't know. I don't know who has Bardic Inspiration or who's used it, so I guess that kind of will just be that. But I will give my last one to the next person in line. Mouse, it's my last one too. So you got a D8.
Okay.
Awesome.
And you're gonna stay put?
I will. The last lever I need to pull is just right below me, right?
Correct. Yep.
I'll shift down.
Okay. Mouse, you are up.
Yeah, so as mentioned, I'm going to drop concentration on enlarge and instead focus on well wishes to the rest of my party mates and swell with a aura of vitality.
Oh boy. Good old aura vitality.
Oh, I don't think I need the template.
That's fine. Yeah.
But I will give that first 5 to Flint.
Does it trigger on the first cast?
Well, I think it's a bonus action to trigger it and a action to cast the spell.
Oh, yes. That makes a lot of sense.
So that's my full turn. I'm not trying to leave here.
Okay. You the one next to you is incapacitated. So you are actually not within melee range of anything that is active at the moment.
Oh, then yes, then I will run away.
Yeah. You see it like grasping its head, and you know that it has no attention towards you at the moment.
Does your starry form trigger on casting that?
Are you in Chalice right now? You might be.
I thought I was, but I didn't. At least it's not marked off on my. I thought I entered the form.
I thought you did right at the end
I think you gave me a couple extra hit points when you did the mass healing word.
Then yes, that would trigger the first time I did it and give you D8 plus 3.
Okay. Truthfully, I'm not sure if you did, but I am fine with it.
I'm pretty sure she did at the end of the last session. I think it was the last round.
Okay.
Then you get an additional 10 healing on that.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
Alrighty. You end your turn. Both you and Aesop standing next to this door just hear scratching on the other side. But this door seems to be holding. The one that had been hit by the psychic lance just sort of like collapses to its knees, not in a prone state, but it is just sort of like holding its head and crushing it within its grasp. It is still going to roll, see if it gets its abilities back. It does get Luminous Burst back, and it does get its blood purification back. So as it's grasping its head, you start to see like these like lights start to climb up the arms, sort of indicating that it's some of these abilities have recharged. The one that I took it off the initiative too fast, so I put it at the end of the initiative. The one that was deactivated is going to make death saves. We'll see what happens. It's fine. Drada, top of the 5th turn of initiative.
Great. 5th round of initiative. 5th round of playing frightened condition check.
Yep.
Which is at the end of my turn.
Yes, correct.
Great. I mean, I'm still hiding in a corner of a cave inside a hole with tied throat. That's kind of all Drada has the mental ability to do at the moment.
Give me a perception check. There's no real rules that define whether you can hear what's happening on the other side of Rope Trick, but I'm going to say with a natural 20, you can hear everything that's going on. There's like a muffled nature to hear sound between planes, planes of existence. But you hear just sort of like the sound of different spells being cast. I expect that as Clax sort of is doing bait and switch, he throws Flint behind him in some way. And you hear just sort of like the continuing battle that your friends are in. But go ahead and roll wisdom saving throw with advantage.
Great. And I'm so glad that he can hear that, and he probably feels all the worse about crouching in a corner.
Yeah. I love guilt. Hey, okay.
I mean, is that enough, or do I?
Yeah, 17 is enough. You're fine.
Right, didn't need to roll 3 times. That's
all good. You're feeling a little better.
Wow. Yeah, maybe hearing the sound of his fellow party members kind of shakes him out of it. I'm just going, oh shit, no, I need to stop. There's things that need to happen. There's things that need to get done. We'll start prepping to get back into the fight next time.
Okay. The one, I'm going to just move this guy back for the sake of it. The one who is still up outside the room is going to check to see if it gets its ability back. It does not. And now with Clax confidently blocking the way, it is just going to take a few slam attempts on Clax. As I fail to click. 11 most definitely does not hit, as you just sort of raise your shield and shrug it off. And a 25.
That will hit. All right.
It does have its blood purification up, so I need you to make a DC 15 Constitution.
I will wheel this one as well. That's my last one for the day.
Thank you.
It's D6, I believe.
Nope.
Hey.
Appreciate it, but didn't need it.
You shrug off this effect. It's sort of like, I think it sort of reaches for your armor, and as you feel the energy pulsing through, you just sort of like shake it off before the energy can actually fully contact your skin. But you still take that 18 bludgeoning damage.
Yep, I took the 12 from the 10 hit points and 6 from.
Good. Flint.
Is this guy incapacitated still, or was that just until the end of its turn?
Correct.
Until
the beginning of Aesop's turn.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then I will start by backing away. And Flint is getting pretty low on spell slots. Yeah. I think Flint's just got a firebolt, and I'm just trying to decide which one of these I think I'm hitting. I think I'm going to shoot the one that is low and Clax is trying to deal with right now.
Okay. Oops, I closed the door. A 19 does hit.
I did not roll that correctly. That's just rolling an 8, not rolling a d8.
Yeah.
All right. So
13 fire damage. It is still up, but just barely.
Did the fire damage appear to
sort of in a percussive way? It, you saw a few shards of metal come off of it. It seemed to be sort of normal.
Okay. And then bonus action. How many of these do I have left? I think based on the fact that it's just barely still up, I'm going to use Flash of Genius to let my turret shoot this thing one more, and as its other form. I think we decided I could do that, right?
Yeah, just it's a one Flash of Genius for a single use of a different ballista ability.
Yeah, and I will just use the there it is, Force Ballista. 16?
16 does not hit.
That's unfortunate. That's my turn.
Okay. Clax. This thing in front of you is looking really bad.
Okay, I know it's looking really bad. This one, though... All right, let me ask this. Have I noticed what you described where they're powering up? Like, have I picked up on that on any of them? And if so, if I have I noticed the one that's kind of over my shoulder powering up? Because that will determine which way I go.
I think yes. There's sort of like a energy sort of sound associated with it.
Okay. And if I remember correctly, I get to use my breath when I take the attack action. I can replace one of the attacks. Yep. So
yes.
Let me go ahead and let's do my breath weapon. Well, I'm going to take the attack action. I'm going to replace one of them with the breath weapon. I'm going to breathe the breath weapon outside at these two.
I keep clicking the door.
All
trying
good.
to check their hit points. Okay.
Just throw that there. Oh, great roll.
Is it half on a success? Okay, this guy in front of you literally has 1 hit point. So
okay.
So you are able to, without issue, knock this second one out. And you do. I don't need to roll a dex save on the other one. It's just sort of you feel. I think it's sort of like you smell a little bit of like burnt rubber as the wires beneath the armor start to corrode under the effect of your flame, and you do see the flickering on it stops as that second one disappears.
Nice.
But this first one is unconscious now.
All right. Seeing that the immediate threat does catch my breath again, turn around though and take a swing at this guy with my axe.
Okay.
And come on, big roll, big roll, big roll. All right, garbage damage. 25 to hit, 8 slashing.
That is a hit.
All right. Bonus action. Oh, it is. Oh, and it's incapacitated. I get advantage. Oh, it doesn't change my hit. It doesn't change damage. So.
No, that's paralyzed.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I will attempt to shield bash its brains in and see if I can't knock it prone.
Okay.
And that's athletics. 15.
Am I reading the right thing with incapacitated? It's actually. Give me 1 second.
Can't take actions or reactions.
Yeah.
Doesn't say anything about ability checks.
Yeah. Okay. So it still gets this.
Yeah, I try to cheat and have all my stuff up on screen so I can double check because I forget all that stuff.
Nonetheless, you do knock it prone without issue.
Okay.
It's just sort of like crawling with its hand to its head at the moment.
Okay, and then so I knocked the other one down. I'm just going to move to put myself kind of here between the door, staying in striking range. Actually, Mouse, how bad are you hurt? How bad does Mouse look?
I'm at half. I'm fine.
Half with a shield as well. So
All right, then I will actually just stay right here, just to kind of stay front and center on it. And that is my turn.
all right, Aesop. More clambering at the other side of this wall.
Yes. Also, the guy's now prone, so I would have disadvantage on a ranged spell, right? Is that how it works?
Technically, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
If it's an attack roll. If it's just a saving
If it's
throw.
saving throw, you're fine.
Oh, didn't know that. Yeah, might as well do it again.
How many seconds? What is this? A fifth level spell?
Fourth.
Fourth? Oh, okay. Jesus. All right.
Yeah, she's powerful one. It's my last one now, unfortunately. All right,
Shame.
my last one at fourth level.
Better. It's pretty significant. Advantage because it is a machine.
Oh, damn it!
Ooh.
All right,
But still
Half
takes 11 psychic damage. Yeah.
Yeah.
You get the sense that you, whatever effect, it sort of developed a temporary countermeasure or resistance to it,
right.
enough to shrug it off.
I think Aesop just gets really uncomfortable by seeing it squirm, and I'm like, "Are you? Did they?
You
No."
also- as you're looking down on it and seeing that it's about to reactivate, you do see the pulsing energy coming from its chest. You know that it has its luminous burst.
Yeah, I don't have anything to protect myself from that.
Okay.
All
right.
Well, I guess I could. Wait, I need a ruler. Do I know that it's about to like explode in radiant energy though? Would Aesop know that?
I think you know it's a potential, and these things have been doing that.
Okay, then I will, as a bonus action. Nope, I don't know if I could do that as a bonus action. I can't do another spell as a bonus action if I did a spell for my action, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Then I am here. I'll be fine.
Okay. Stay
Not
put.
moving. Yep.
Mouse, you are up.
I will start by giving Flint another 2d6.
Plus 3.
No, I think as written, you only get the extra d8 plus 3 the first time you cast a leveled spell. I think reactivating Aura Vitality, I don't get it every round. Unless you feel like giving it to me, and then I'm down.
Continue with your turn. I'm just going to quickly Google.
And then I don't want to get any closer to it, but I think I Guiding Bolt the one that's working on charging up.
Okay. Feel free. It is technically prone, and this is a ranged attack. So it is with disadvantage.
All right, guys. Should have thought one through.
Well,
That's good. That's good.
a 17 is exactly its armor class. But 14 is not enough to bring it down. So you do knock a little bit more energy out of it, but you do, I would say, like it's almost your turn. You do see it sort of standing up with its final breath, so to speak, as it is reaching critical mass.
Okay, well, I can't get much further away from it, but I'm going to go over next to Flint.
Meat shield.
2, 3. Can I go one more? Yeah, that's further away.
Alrighty. Really hoping to just grapple you in if any of you tried to leave the room, but totally understand. I do need... you know what? The funny thing is, it is not an intelligent creature. It is exploding as last resort, and Mouse is just out of range. So, but I do need you all to make a Constitution saving throw as this pulsing energy, as it seeks a final glorious end.
Did I save that wheel from last turn to now?
Yeah.
No. All right.
So, two of you will take, 2 of you take 12 damage. Clax, you do take the full 25. The machine at the edge of the door just sort of like completely gets obliterated in this energy as well.
I'm gonna go ahead and try and figure out how much my robot has and do a roll for this.
You said 12 for half.
24, 25 halved to 12.
Did we just decide its ability checks are just plus nothing? Yeah, I think
That's
so.
accurate, yeah. Go ahead and roll me, because it previously did 24 damage. So if you fail a second check, then it's gone. Because it's been in 2 of these. So no, it's I would say it probably has like 5 hit points or so.
Right.
Drata, you hear an explosion of energy, but you can't see it.
Great.
It did stand
So
up
happy
as
to
part of
be in a
its
cave.
thing. And it is your turn.
Okay. So yeah, I see explosion happen and the remnant of the golem outside the door vanish. Strata exits his cave. Leaving the rope there just in case, we need later, and I think does the like cool action film thing, like back next to the door, like a crossbow like up here, like, and then Little's pivots in like into the doorway. Fires off 3 shots at this here golem that's still up there.
This here golem. Feel free.
Thank you.
While you are completing these rolls, I've been reading up on Aura Vitality, and I believe you are correct. So, as generous as I am sometimes, that would be very, very strong.
Yeah.
And I would love to throw sneak attack in as well.
Yes, please do. And we know that a 17 hits, so this is looking good. It's looking quite good.
27 total.
27.
Oh no,
total.
plus.
No.
Oh, I missed the first one. Sorry, 34.
Drata appearing kind of out of nowhere. I don't know who actually saw where Drata went, but so it's probably of comfort to see him poking his head back into the room as 3 arrows sink into this, and I think it's sort of like a kill shot, like 2 in the legs, 1 in the head, as this thing crumbles to the ground. You do, I think, you do see it still blinking at the top of your turn, Flint, but I think it's pretty clear what somebody needs to do afterwards.
Yeah, I'll just shoot a firebolt at it and just, try and finish it off.
Yeah. We're not going to go through all the turns to see who can keep this thing from making death saves, but you do sort of do a point blank firebolt. You feel the sizzle of the rubber wires within start to melt, and there's like a scent of sulfur that comes out as this thing is deactivated. And as you just sort of like take one breath to assess the situation, you just hear scratching, like endless, ceaseless scratching against this wall.
I'll move away from the door now, or the wall, just be like, God, I'm standing by that the entire time.
Yeah, can we wait at least like 48 seconds for me to finish healing you all before we open any more doors?
That sounds great. I was definitely out in the hallway shooting more of them, preventing them from getting close. Yep, that's what I was doing. Go heal mouse, thanks.
Sorry, I didn't hit you with any of those, shatters out there. I couldn't see you around the corner.
No, I was like far away. Don't worry about it.
I'm gonna give Drata 66 3 rounds.
6d6. Okay, I was like, whoa.
So 25 for Drata. Flint, how you looking?
I am currently at 29.
We'll give you 3 more too.
Which I'm gonna. I'll let you finish these.
So that's 16 for you. And I've got 2 left.
As they're doing this, I actually didn't lose any HP. Shocking! I know. Aesop didn't lose HP during a battle. Crazy.
Now that you have all this armor, nobody's even attacking you.
I know. After being very worried of Flint using Shatter multiple times, I'm just gonna go make sure that no one's coming downstairs. So I'm gonna try to, hide in the corner, kind of listen in, and see if I can hear anything.
Okay, roll perception if you'd like.
Okay.
And then that last 17, Drata or Flint, whoever wants it.
It might. I don't know how Clax or.
Yeah, I'm at 53 of 63. So if someone needs it more, take it.
I'm at 45, so I'm
45 of.
66. So I'm
Take it.
2/3.
You take 8 and I'll take 9.
Okay.
Does anybody? So as Mouse is just sort of doling out medicine, starry medicine, is any? I know Aesop's keeping watch. Is anybody else sort of doing anything this time?
Flint had mentioned he's going to do something.
I'm trying to look it up. I think I can use mending to heal my robot. And I'll do that basically to get it to full, and then try and get a shield up for everybody. Yeah, if mending's cast on it, it regains 2d6 hit points.
Yeah, I think you have. I mean, you have infinite time, so
yeah.
Not infinite time, but because it lasts an hour or something. So,
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you want me to roll for that 10 hit points, or
no,
just
everybody can get up to, what is the max? 13?
I think so. Either 13 or 12.
Might be 13 actually. I think
Yeah,
you're right.
it's D8 plus
D8 plus
your
your intelligence. Yeah, so 13.
Yeah, so as the cannon roams around, everybody can get back up to 13 temporary hit points, and you're spending your time just sort of repairing it and doling that out. Clax and Drata, are you up to anything in this sort of short rest? Like not a real short rest, but a breath.
Black's just kind of looking around the room. Ruby, Emerald, Sapphire, Topaz, Diamond. We still got that one, right? Just kind of checking.
Drata, upon seeing you, and I find okay, great, we have one more. I think Drata is gonna spider climb up to the ceiling, back to the ceiling, crossbow aimed at the wall that we know is gonna move. Just who knows what the fuck's coming out, but if so, I want to be as ready as I can.
Are you spider climbing inside the room?
Yeah.
Okay. Clax is taking inventory. Drata is preparing. With your natural 20 perception, I just want to level set this as I answer this question. You don't hear anything, but those this is all happening within the last minute, and the distance that you guys made to evade the guards was not a minute away. So you if you I think you would recognize that at present you don't hear anything other than the scratching from behind you, but what you would recognize in this moment is like, unless you were to sit put and really kind of like assess whether or not the sound was perceived on the outside, you don't really have enough information to go off of with the 25. You can't hear people who might be 5-10 minutes away.
That's fair. I think just because we're in like a metal room and shatter affects metal objects the most, I feel like the sound would have been worse. Like
Yeah.
just like the sound would have been like awful while inside. So I was
with
like,
a perception
let me
of
just
20,
make sure.
With a perception of 20, natural 20, I would say like you are aware of the fact that it created an echo that would have escaped this place. Shatter is sort of a localized effect,
Okay.
unlike Thunderwave, which would have been much more noisy. But a localized effect in what is like an echo chamber of a space, you know that I think you know that it could travel outside.
Can I, with my 20 perception, can I tell if the shatter did damage to like the intricacies of this area, like the piping, and like are there just like really just shattered spots that no longer repairable?
I would say this hallway. I'd say like there's an anvil next to one of
This
these
one?
forges. This one.
Yeah, this one.
That sort of like, you know, a blacksmith could use it if they wanted to, because the anvils are pretty sturdy, but but it would have an uneven surface to really work on. Some of the flooring has been sort of has these like spider web cracks running through it, but they're sort of revealing under it stone. Nothing of structural consequences happened to this place, and in this area, there's no sort of pipage. So
Cool. I'll walk back into the room. I don't hear anything for now, y'all. So except for the jam thing over there, but I think we should be fine.
Well, do we want to pull that lever and deal with whatever's on the other side of that?
Well, we don't even know if it's going to open that door.
We were hearing something that made us think that was the door that was opening, like some latches or something every time we pulled a lever.
Oh, okay.
It might not be, but that was the impression I had gotten.
All right, because if I remember correctly from what that book said or note said, right? If we pulled all of them at once, it'd probably shut all this stuff down, right?
Right, but currently all of them except for that last one over there are already pulled.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Well,
we have to pull the last lever anyway for them to all to reset.
Yeah, just because it's been a 2-week hiatus. You tried to pull them all to deactivate it, didn't work. The one that you did pull was the start of a sequence to a room that you believe to be the vault.
All right. Was everybody ready for this then?
I think so. I think I don't think pulling them all at once is necessary now. I don't think. I think that would have it would have prevented the last fight we did, but those things are all dead now, I think.
You don't think scratching's them on the other side?
I think the scratching is something else,
Yeah,
We'll find
unfortunately.
I guess.
Can I don't know if other people are holding something. If so, I'll hold frostbite.
That's
Should
fair.
I stand in the doorway when I flip the switch, or should I be off to the side?
You can stand in the doorway.
More to the team.
I was going to say someone needs to pull it though. If you want to pull it, and you'll just have to be standing off to the side a little bit to pull it.
Well, this is the lever, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the one bot beneath you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you
Do I have
can
to
pull
be
it. You can pull it from that square.
Okay.
Am I going to block anybody from doing anything if this door opens?
I shoot fireballs past you, or fire bolts past you all the time.
I'll
I mean-
prep a sacred flame.
Yeah, I'll prep a
As
fire.
long as you don't mind a crossbow bolt whizzing past your ear, you're good to go.
You hear another scream, the one that frightened you earlier. You have mechanically you're immune to the effect for 24 hours, having resisted its influence before. But you know that whatever's on the other side of this door is sort of present.
All right, everybody ready?
Unless we're taking a short rest, I think as ready as we're gonna get.
I just don't know if that door is going to hold an hour, and plus, we made a lot of noise. I don't know how much time we have.
Fair enough.
All right, so with my shield arm, because I got my shield on there, I'm going to try and grab that lever, and try and keep my axe at the ready, prop my foot against the wall, try and pull down on that lever.
You can pull this lever, whether it's the first time you try to pull it or not. But I think when you would eventually pull it, you would kickstart initiative.
Okay.
So we're going to roll initiative to see sort of how this plays out. And we're sort of the way we're going to treat this is that Clax is first in the initiative in this case, just as the lever puller. Oops, your cannon does not need to be here. And I understand that people are holding actions, but this is a scenario where the enemy, what is on the other side of this wall, is also functionally holding an action. Or at least frantically pawing at this door. So it's all sort of happening at the same time.
Is the carousel up? Or did it?
Oh, you might have to click it on the sidebar.
Oh, there it is. Yep. Yeah, I don't know. Gotcha. Thank you. Ooh, who got the 20? Oh, not us.
Oh, hi, Tusk.
What is your initiative? Oh, your Drada. You are a plus what to initiative or to what is your natural dexterity? 17. Okay. Yeah. So you are actually. So because like I know that everybody's sort of holding an action, but I'm going to play this as a normal initiative because otherwise it's no different really. So as Clax, you throw open the door. I think it's kind of appropriate that you're at the end of the initiative. You you sort of like throw open the door. Oh, true. Yeah, you're fine. You throw open the lever and the final latch releases from the inside of the door. And you feel sort of like a portcullis of metal, of solid metal rising as this creature that seems kind of like it just sort of lunges right for you, Clax. Not to the point where Drada doesn't get to shoot it first, but as soon as this door opens, there's something sort of crawling over Clax with large fangs and kind of gray-brown skin. It is not wearing any sort of clothing. It is sort of just completely manic in every way. It's hardly recognizable as humanoid. And into the room, you see just sort of a dark interior as this, what seems to be one creature is just sort of clawing at Clax. But top of the initiative, Drada, you sort of, in your highest prepared state, do get to go first.
Cool. So I have a question. Would assassinate play in here if I prepped myself to shoot as soon as that door went open?
It hasn't taken a turn, so you have advantage.
Okay, but
it's not surprised. Yeah, it's not surprised.
Okay, cool. Great. Bonus action, Hunter's Mark that friend. And then take
4
my
lovely shots. Because you have your... 3 shots, you're right.
3 if I'm...
Oops, sorry. Keep clicking doors. A 22 does hit.
Great, and I'm rolling advantage just to see.
You never know. I mean, that's exactly why.
Hey.
Roll that, and then roll one more d6 for the crit, and then 3d6 for... Okay, yeah. 1d6 for the crit, 3d6 for the Hunter's Mark, and then 1d8 for the Dread Ambusher.
Got you.
I think you have one more d6 for the crit. Okay. Math 21, 23, 31, 40. I believe that is 40 damage as Drada
What I got?
unleashes a number of bolts into this creature, which you have no idea what this is. I think it's clear to Drada, even in this flash second, that the fangs on this creature are pointy enough to give you an indication of its origins, but something about this feels a little alien. Not otherworldly, but monstrous.
Grata, I think now that he's in a space that he's more comfortable with the people around him, and also just because of all of the vampirism of it all, just fully goes like, what the fuck in Undercommon. And that closes Drada's turn.
I'm trying to remember how I previously described one of the... No, never mind. Irrelevant. As it begins its turn, it sort of starts to... Like, it takes these bolts, and you can tell that its sort of stamina is being drained. It is... But there's something to its vitality that is just sort of causing it to grasp for Klax in an unhinged sort of way. We are going to give one joyous claw attack. Not a
Negative.
Not a great claw attack. And it is going to attempt to bite you as well.
Ooh, that hits.
Okay. You take a total of 20 damage, and your maximum hit points is reduced by 13 temporarily. As you feel your sort of like life force being drained from you, as this creature just like, you knew something bad was on the other side of this, but its sort of agility, you were sort of a little unprepared for just how fast it could come upon you.
Oops.
And it is Mouse's turn.
I'm going to...
And I should say it's attached to Klax at the moment.
How does that damage interact with the like shielded temp hit points and the like reducing the max hit points?
Some of what I'm just yeah, you're right.
I don't really know.
No, that's fair. I'd say your max hit points only reduced by 7 because that would be the difference. But it's sort of like it had to push past your shield, which would have pulled some of that energy away.
Okay. Thank you.
Seeing this thing looks a little dark, I'm going to second level Guiding Bolt.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an 18. That is a good old hit, and it does not like radiant damage at all.
That's a good damage roll too.
You see it sort of shriek back. It's still technically grappling Klax, but as it burns with this radiant energy, it is not liking it.
Oh, by the way, was I supposed to make a DC save for the grapple?
No.
Okay.
It just happens.
But I think that's all I've got for now. Staying put.
Oh wait, no, you should make a DC save. Sorry, I didn't read my own ability. You're right. Please do roll that. Okay, you're not grappled. Just kidding. Okay, staying put. Flint.
I think Flint is gonna. Flint's been a lot on the last fight. I think he's just starting with Firebolt for this.
A 16 does hit.
Extra D8.
I think.
You would have advantage on the first attack against him.
Oh. Well, just to see if it's 20, but
Okay.
All right.
As you blast it, it had sort of jumped on Clax, who, got bit and then shoved it off. And as the radiant bolt pushed it back another 5 feet, you unleash your fire blast, and it just crumples in the corner. It's dead already.
Oh, well, all right then.
Come on, I didn't even get to hit it.
I was like, ah!
Yeah, it was a intense 3 seconds.
I'm gonna charge in the room just to see if there's anything else in there.
Those are some heavy hits, though. Wow.
I think it's technically dark in there. Oh no, you guys have your light from.
I'm glowing.
Yeah,
I have my axe.
Yeah. You look in the room as the sort of I think your danger sense kicks in, and you're like, are there any more threats? And in that just first second of charging in, this room is otherwise empty, insofar as enemies are concerned. What you do, sort of as you're all piling into the room, just taking a 2-second glance at it, there's of course the creature with some clear vampiric origins that you see crumpled on the floor, very clearly dead. And there's also what you sort of see. This is a room that is small and is, didn't have that much in it to begin with. You see a bunch of shredded pieces of paper, and the sort of spine, and it's sort of a book that has all of its pages torn out, that has just been shredded by presumably by this creature, as pieces of paper are scattered throughout the room. On the sort of propped up against the corner, you all do see that there is a sword, a sort of rapier that at first glance looks a lot cleaner than sort of everything else in this room, because this room is just sort of full of debris and all sorts of mess that makes it clear that something has been living in here for quite some time. But there's a sort of ruined podium, and some pens and papers and things that are just sort of utterly destroyed in this room. As you sort of give it a quick look and have the awareness that the battle is over, as you just sort of take stock of what's here.
Lax is just going to reflect on the fact that he doesn't feel great right now.
Yeah, that's so fair. Oh, Foundry music just picked up. How fun.
Yeah.
Rada, I think his brain goes a couple different directions. Is one, is there a corpse that we all walked over to get in?
Yes.
Okay. Would love to maybe this is a weird thing, take a tissue sample, ? If this is something that he's never seen before. and like be like, yeah, I don't know what you make of this, even if or like breaking off the fang or like something distinctive to then show back to the folks at the Burning Needle, just to be like, hey, what's happening here?
Yeah,
I think would also be looking after that, like, are there any like again, there's books torn up, but like anything identifying, like any identifying features of this room, like my brain goes, is this Jasper's room? Was that Jasper that we just?
So
I was gonna essentially like look through the papers as well, so maybe I can give you advantage on that. But I can't see in here, I'm just gonna cast light.
I think
Since
other
our walking beacon walked out.
no, I mean the other people have light. It's fine. You're
Okay.
fine. And the dark vision module is broken for some reason. But anyway.
Okay. I was like, I can't see.
So Drada, this is sort of like baseline knowledge that you know is, and you've sort of hinted at this already, but like a corpse is just a strange phenomenon. The other thing, just sort of that is strange on this, is it's not regenerating. You know that even lesser vampires tend to have some ability to withstand more than just, a few attacks. You generally have to, if you're going to get rid of one, you have to get rid of one permanently. There's various ways to do that, but you have to be able to incapacitate it until that reality is even possible. So for it to not even be regenerating is a little like strange. Go ahead and give me an investigation check, and it sounds like you're getting help from Aesop as well. Okay. What is everybody else doing?
I think Flint would be kind of leaving the corpse to Drada, not trying to infringe on that or anything, but would be maybe trying to gather up papers. I know they're all shredded, but seeing if he can make any kind of sense of them, if there's any amount of like pieces that he thinks eventually he could piece back together, and with mending and whatever else, and make any sense of it. But
yeah, I think with Drada's investigation, Drada knows Undercommon and can tell that the papers are written in Undercommon, but they are shredded to the point where Drada and Aesop are not really, in this moment, unable to really decipher anything intelligible. So if you were to gather, like sort of sweep up, for lack of a better word, these papers, this is a jigsaw puzzle of mending that would take you some time. You can't just sort of like cast mending on a stack of shreds. You have to
That's
sort of
you
have to painstakingly mend each and every little piece together. But in time, it might be possible.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was imagining. It's like looking at these and figuring out if I thought it was possible to eventually do, and if so, just collecting them and doing that when we have time.
Yeah, this is a solid day or two of work if you can figure it out, I think is what you would sort of just guesstimate. But what I think that it is within the power of mending to do something like that.
Yeah.
I think if Drada and I are looking through these papers and not finding anything useful, I think I would have the conversation of, do you think it would be useful to learn Undercommon? I mean, it seems like a pretty interesting language to learn. Like, what? I like just grab it, like a scrap of paper. I'm like, what does that word mean? Like, the only word that's visible on the paper.
Drada takes some beat and just goes, that just says no on the paper. I mean, I'm happy to try to teach selfishly, and I mean, it could be cool to say things and have no one else know what we're saying, but we could already do that with primordials. But like, selfishly, I kind of want to keep Undercommon to myself, just so I can like say things like, well.
You know
but
what?
also,
Fair.
Like, if you want a basic vocabulary when we're not in a crit, we can work on that.
I would appreciate that. I know sometimes I just like don't get the the satisfaction of like being able to read a language just by like casting a spell and being able to do so. Like I want to sometimes I kind of just want to know what it says without doing anything, you know?
Roll me a d6, Strata. This is how many random words that you pull out. 5. One of them's no, as previously described. You see. Let me actually. I'm not going to randomly do everything, but I am just going to sort of pick my rows. All right, I'll have to interpret that. 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 6, 6. Okay. You see can't on one piece of paper. You see, one of those twos I'm just going to say is the no. You see can't, no, I, and it's the undercommon I. It's sort of like as the subject to I. It's has enough spacing between it that you know it's referring to like the individual who wrote it. Can't, I, no, Dawn, and Sebastian. In no particular order. You see that both No and Sebastian are sort of like in undercommon all caps.
When you say no, do you mean like
N-O?
N-O? Okay.
Oh, English. I think Sebastian might have gotten in trouble, or something might have happened.
Mouse, what are you doing? And Klax.
I was gonna come out and see if I could look at the levers and see if I could predict what would happen if we had either pulled them all at once or in a different order.
You can try to roll Arcana if you like.
Yeah, I didn't think I would be successful, but
Well, may I assist her in saying, hey, the other half of the poem we looked at, I think Topaz, Diamond, Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald might be one of the orders.
Yeah, I think that the nature of this Arcana stuff eludes you, but it probably makes some, what Klax is saying probably makes some sense.
looks like something Flint would know.
Huh? What's going on in here?
So, Klax, and forgive me if I missed it. Did they do anything with the sword that looked neat in there?
It has not been sort of inspected yet.
Okay. Klax, I think, just RPing, trying to help Mouse with the levers because he wanted just a minute to himself out of the small room because he's not feeling great after that attack. But if we're just killing time, eventually he would make his way back in there to see what's going on with the sword. But rapiers aren't his thing, but just fine craftsmanship is. So,
yeah. But
again, levers first. And if nobody, hint hint, goes and looks at the rapier, then he'd go and look at that.
Yeah. Well, then before you grab anything, let me just ask, like, Drada, you're processing the words you've read. I don't know that you like read them out loud or if you're sort of keeping that to yourself. But obviously it's just sort of a mishmash of words. But what are you? I think it's very clear that your team is giving you the space to explore this room first.
I think Drada's now trying to. There's one part of his brain that's going to like, oh, is this the same handwriting that we've seen in the previous journals? Like, is also still thinking about like, we heard a blood-curdling scream, and there's only one end. As far as we can tell, there was only one end. Like, are there any points of egress out of this room, or like, it's just trying to, I think, piece together like a series of paths. He's also interested, but I think wouldn't like That would maybe when Flax starts to look at it, Trada would check and go, "Oh, I should also look." Like I feel like he went through enough of the he spent so much time afraid earlier that now he's kind of in a place of like detached. I'm just trying to figure out what's happening, what went down.
Yeah. I'll say with your previous 13 investigation, you believe it's the same handwriting, but as it sort of descended into that all caps, the writing starts to get a little bit more scraggly and manic. I think there would be a degree to Drada that may infer that the person who wrote this book was Jasper from that information. So there does not appear to be any points of egress. This seems to be an entirely sealed room. As you're sort of seeing it from the other side of the door, although the door sort of raised into the ceiling, looking at it sort of trying to look up into the recess that it went into, it's very clearly that like just a few minutes ago this was a flat-walled room, and the only hint that there was an exit to this room was probably the sound coming from the other side of it. That must have stirred a reaction of some kind. You sort of look in the room, and there's claw marks all over. For those minutes, it was centered on that where the secret door was, but you sort of are looking around, and this place has been shredded as much as metal can give to claws like the ones that you see.
Come on in, everybody. The room's just fine. By fine, I mean pretty torn out.
Yeah, I think
Drada would communicate would say the words. That was Jasper's.
Okay. And then Clax, you're going for the sword.
No one else has.
I think Flint would be sort of eyeing it and trying to not like jump the gun and deal with like anything else that we might need to do in the room, but has certainly noticed the sword.
Clax, go ahead.
Just literally looks at Drada, and then I guess since Flint's in the room, like, rapier-looking sword isn't my type of thing, but you guys know me. I spent how much time in Aesop's house looking at the equipment and armor. Am I gonna trigger a trap if I pick this thing up or anything like that?
I mean,
because there's no dust on it, right? It looks like it's clean.
It
a little odd.
Yeah, it looks like it's something special. If you give me a couple minutes, I can, check it for traps, and I have detect magic and identify ready today if need be.
But, yeah, I'd say the degree, like it does have dust on it, but it is in pristine condition.
Oh, okay, all right. Then if it looks like it's just part of the room, I don't know. Anybody care if I pick it up? All right.
Ready for it?
You die. No, just kidding. No, it's a nice looking sword. It has you sort of like run your hand across the blade to get some of the dust off, and it has I don't know sword terminology, but I think it's like the blood groove, like the sort of groove that goes from sort of the inside of the blade, has sort of this ornate red paint and patterns throughout it. The crossguard sort of has like ornate swirls, and the handle has this sort of like red leather as well. It looks and it feels perfectly balanced from Clax's perspective. It is very clearly sort of more of a finesse weapon, but I will say, like, regardless of what you choose to do with this, finesse means that you can use dexterity, not that you have to use dexterity. So feeling it in your hands, it's like, oh, this is a fine weapon. Like you could put use to this if you felt like it.
So I'll kind of go through a couple like kind of quick katas, kind of get a feel for it. Kind of turn to Drada. This is a fine blade. Like whoever made this really spent some time on it, but it's not the heft I like in a weapon. Is this something you could use? And I just kind of
I'm gonna rewind for a moment.
Yeah.
As Klax is sort of focusing on this, I want Drada and Mouse and Aesop, we'll say, to roll insight checks.
Okay.
Sorry, couldn't find insight.
Ooh, that's good. Good. All right.
Got one skill.
You got one skill. I would say so. The sort of sequence of events is Drada catches people up on what's happening and what the words on the book said, and sort of like that the room is all clear. Klax sort of goes in the room, is like, "Can I pick up this sword?" And as Klax is sort of playing around with it, I think the three of you just sort of see, like, almost in reaction to things that Drada was talking about, like sweat, like beating down his forehead. Something seems to make Flint seem a little uneasy in this space, although you are not quite sure what it is. But it is clear to all three of you.
Wait. Who sweat is beating
sorry,
on whose
sorry.
forehead?
Yeah, I thought I misspoke, but I chose to not correct myself because I wasn't sure. The three of you sense discomfort from Flint, who is sweating a bit in reaction to things Drada said. When you were sort of like catching everybody up on the status of the room.
Oh my god, wait, Flint. Is it time for us? Oh my god, are we gonna learn about you now? You seem really off. Oh my god. Everybody, Flint's uncomfortable!
I'll like walk into the room. Hey.
Klax, you're like swinging around. You're like, this is a fine blade. And you look around and everybody's staring at Flint.
What's going on?
I don't know what. Y'all are acting weird.
Well, you don't have to talk about anything, but I'll look at Mouse and Drada, who also have like the same concerned look on their face, I assume. Like, you just look very uncomfortable. Sweaty, almost. I guess we just want to make sure you're fine.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a little warm
I
down
was just
here.
reading some words on a page. I mean, Jasper, Sebastian, can't, no, I'm just trying to see if you're flinching or reacting to anything that I am saying.
Go ahead and give me another insight roll then, as you're trying to figure this out.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know if I needed to either. That we could just disregard my roll.
That's fine. Do you want to roll a d20, Eric?
Sure. I like literally can't beat.
It's a
Drada.
22. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. You could still try.
I think it like. Will you tell me what they see, Eric? Like, as you're talking, as Drada's talking, like, what is the tell that you try to not give away, but you do?
I think Flint's maybe just a little fidgety. Just I think you're right, like uncomfortable in this, and seems a little maybe too eager to like get to work or avoid the topic or something. Like he just seems uncomfortable and a little fidgety and ready to move on.
Yeah, I would say it's because you can't mind read with insight checks, but it's something that you're saying.
Guys, it's just a little warm down here, and I think, we got a lot of work to do if we're going to get this place operational.
with a
Oh.
deception of 4, that's
yeah.
definitely a lie.
Yeah. I'll look at Drada and kind of give them that look. Be like, okay, did you want to make sure that the sword's not cursed or anything, so we don't lose Clax again?
Oh, cursed?
Yeah, I'd be happy to take a look at it. Also remind me, how is light being cast in this place right now?
Aesop has some light, and Klax has his axe. out.
Axe.
Yeah.
I'm shiny
Cool.
for like 4 more minutes.
It's actually quite bright in here, all things considered.
Cool. I think Drada's feeling the weight of the sword in his hand, swooshing it around and getting used to it. Saying perhaps a bit too casually for someone who's wielding a blade. It's just like, if you have something you want to talk about, we're here to chat.
I
Because
mean,
it's pretty clear there's something you aren't talking about, friend.
I kind of just want to get to work. We got a lot to do here.
So
Yeah, but something
confused,
to-
guys. Like, is
You
this
want me to
about the
look at that
sword?
sword? See what it is?
Oh no, it's not about the sword. Flint knows something and he's not saying it.
Oh,
Well,
wait, knows something?
Shouldn't we? I assume that if Flint has something that is going to help the group, he'll share it.
I don't have anything that's gonna help the group right now. I don't know what you guys are on about.
I'll shoot
Do I
Drada another
believe
one.
that particular line?
Sorry, I'm looking back at a note. Can you repeat what you just said, Flint?
That I don't have anything that's gonna help the group right now. Like, I don't know what you guys are on about.
I think the tension in the air is that it's hard to discern what is truth and what is lie. You just know that Flint is uncomfortable and dodgy. I think you would trust that Flint wouldn't put you in danger in this moment, but you can't really know much beyond that.
He'll walk over to Drada and be like, here, let's give the blade over to Flint to see if it's magical or not.
Go for it.
And
Go for
I'll pick up the blade and kind of lean in closer to Drada and be like, maybe now's not the right. And then as
Yeah,
I
I'm getting that.
take the blade, I'll put it. Did you want to look at it, Flint, before I put it into your hand? Do you even accept me putting it into your hand? Okay.
Yeah, I'll take a look.
Wow.
I'll find somewhere to sit down and start casting Identify.
You're
Alrighty.
ritually casting it because you have no
Yeah.
spells.
Tap.
I think just for flavor, I assume Flint goes off to some quiet corner to go
Yeah.
do this work, and so you
Yep.
guys have 10 minutes to talk amongst yourselves.
Flint seems eager for a quiet space away from the group. Everybody's being weird.
Can somebody fill me in on what's going on? Like, again, he's off in his space, so
Yeah, I think when Drada was mentioning some of the words that we were able to decipher from, shreds, there was something in there. Or it could be just this room that is making Flint just uneasy.
I'm sorry, words from... I mean, kind of look around the room. Like,
From one of these tomes that we picked up. But yeah, he seemed... Mouse, Aesop, and I noticed recognition, some sweat on the brow, deep kind of discomfort. And obviously, if he's not wanting to talk, I'm not going to be the one to talk, or else, no. But I have a lot more questions than I did before entering this room, in which I already had a lot of questions. So...
No, I just don't think he's in a good space right now. Unfortunately.
let's find out how cool that sword is, though, in the meantime.
What color is
honestly,
it?
It has seems to be steel, but it has elements of red throughout it.
While this is going on, can I start inspecting Clax and like checking him over to see if I can figure out how long this loss of hit points is gonna last?
Sure. You can give me a medicine check if you would like.
In your mouse.
Oh, I'm a halfling! I'm not very
I feel like without Foundry, I would forget. Actually, I mean, it's nothing terribly supernatural. It seems like it just needs to heal. It's a, yeah, it doesn't seem to be affecting Clax. In fact, you can't even really tell that his maximum hit points has been reduced. He seems totally normal. So you imagine a night's rest. He'll be fine, just like any other injury.
That's good.
Well, Flint, you take the time. Are you ritually detecting magic, or just going straight to identify?
Oh, I think I'd just go to identify.
Yeah. This is indeed a magical rapier. In short, although I will send the ability, I'll send it over Discord here in a little bit. But in short, it is a. I have it written as both rapier and longsword in the same sentence. It's definitely a rapier. In short, it is a sword that becomes stronger as you use it against creatures that bleed. And those sort of, as it starts to store in that energy that it pulls out of other individuals, you know that a vampire can choose to then drain that energy from the sword itself to heal and sate their thirst. So it is, in a way, a blade that would be perfect for a vampire. And I would say, just on, you sort of look at the strength of it. This is probably the most magical item in your party at the moment. It is considered a very rare sword. It's quite ornate in many ways.
Do I think, like, and I don't know if I know enough to know this, do I think Drata would be able to get, like, some sort of healing or whatever from that? Or would this only work for, like, a full vampire?
You not quite. Well. Yes, you do know that a Dampier can leverage the healing ability. You don't know that it has. You don't really understand what the thirst, what thirst Drata may or may not have. So to that end, you're not sure, but you do get the sense that Drata would be able to heal from it. Yes.
Okay. And it's anything that bleeds? Like, this would work on beasts or monstrosities or whatever?
A humanoid creature.
Oh, it's okay. Specifically
Yes.
humanoid.
Yeah.
I'll rejoin the group after 10 minutes.
I will just sort of, as Flint is preferring it, I will show you quick little arts.
That is pretty.
And let's just take this opportunity before you guys decide what's next to take a quick break, because I need to use the restroom. So let's come back in 5-ish minutes.
Sounds good.
So, Flint, you spending the time to get away from the group for a bit and do one thing that you know you're very good at. You take a look at this blade, which I forgot to put in Discord during the break, so I will. But you bring it back to the group as you all are, I assume, just sort of sitting in this vault, sort of rifling around.
So, Dron, I'm pretty sure this is gonna be a you thing.
Oh,
I think it fits your aesthetic maybe more than most.
I mean, honestly, like, I know I'm a lot visually, but like, this is a lot. Don't get me wrong, I'll still take it. I'm now just
Well,
realizing I need to refine my aesthetic a bit further. That's an aside.
it's also, I don't know, it's definitely made for a vampire. I think many of its features you'll be able to like make use of, but
Okay.
it would be particularly useful, I think, if you're fighting humanoids. It'll get a little stronger, I think, as you hurt them. No,
Okay.
hand over the sword.
Roll me a history check, Drada.
A what check?
History.
I
As
thought you
a
said strength. And I was like, is it like
it just
really
falls to the
heavy?
floor.
Like, it
No,
just
it's a
collapsed?
totally normal sword.
maybe as a second option, Drada, if you don't feel like you would be useful with this kind of item, maybe we could use it as a leverage tool to get the thing Mouse and I were looking at that the I don't remember what the shop was called, but at the shop where you were looking at that scope, the telescope, the whatever, the binoculars, something along those lines we were looking at, and it was very expensive. But I feel like that would be a good idea.
I don't know if I think it would be a wise choice to sell this to any old vendor. You might get some strange looks, is my guess. Trying to sell very much a vampire's sword. Maybe
It
not.
also could be risky to. I mean, I know we have killed a lot of things recently, but generally it's for a good reason. And I'm not sure a sword that sort of incentivizes killing is necessarily a good thing in most people's hands.
With a history of 8 before you speak, Drada. You don't know anything about this sword. You do know that, back home, there are tools that are made for important people, and this sounds like a pretty powerful tool. You don't imagine that somebody like it's only an 8 history, so I'm trying to be overly explicit when I say this, but like, who would make this sword if it wasn't somebody from home?
I think on that, Drada speaks up and just goes, I totally hear the logic in wanting to maybe part with it to get the spyglass. Like, that seems really helpful. I mean, I don't know a lot about swordsmithery, but I do know just that this probably comes from home, for someone who made it for someone from home, and if I can hold on to that, that sounds kind of nice.
Yeah, if you think it's like from your community back home, or at least someone you know, absolutely. I think you should have it.
Well, and I can't think of anywhere we'd sell it aside from maybe the Burning Needle, and until we're more confident in that Master Crex's motives, I'd rather not give him any more tools. So
It's
I
fair.
think regardless, we keep a hold of it for at least a while.
I would agree. Yeah, next time we pop by there, I'm more than happy to leave this at home. Okay, I mean,
Yeah. Well, just sorry.
Sorry.
Good old Zoom Discord phenomenon. Just so you will need to attune to this should you choose to ever use it, but you can do that once you take a short rest. I will put it in your inventory for the time being.
So by default, this is not a +1 or anything.
No.
It's just after you've.
It's a +0.
Okay.
Mechanically, question. It still counts as magical though, so if it attacks something, it still counts as a magic weapon, even though it'd be a +0 until it's gotten that charge.
I will need to look into that.
Okay. Sorry, it's not mine, but I just
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I mean, this is part of this party, right? It's between the artificer augments and other things. It's like who needs the magic enhancement. I understand.
well, since we've been here for a bit, no one's come busting down the gates yet, and we've been here for at least 15 minutes now. Should we try go seeing what else is out there? And we still have that other set of levers to do, or other order of levers to do.
It sounded like the other set of lever or the other order would get us a way out of here, but like a secret way, maybe. If I remember right.
The verdant path, correct?
Yeah.
I'm not mad at an easier way out and/or relaying this back to the folks at the Burning Needle, giving them an easier way in.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I'm going to turn to Drada. Drada, have we satisfied what we were supposed to do here? Like, have we?
I mean, we, at least to my knowledge, successfully cleared the place out of any entities that would do you harm upon entering it. I don't see any more goblins that are coming our way to try to kill us.
I mean,
found that it's still largely in working order.
I wouldn't mind spending more time down here and just trying to get it like actually working. But yeah, it seems like step one is get a secret entrance opened up and let them know it's here.
Do you think getting it working is within your skill set?
Yeah, of course. What are you implying?
Do I believe him? Because now I'm like tuned in. Like everybody thinks he's lying about everything. Do I believe him? Can he fix this?
Roll an insight check. I mean, I'm not going to make you roll, Eric, because I feel like it's sheer confidence is the DC. Yeah, totally.
It's like a roll off for the lowest values of charisma checks. And
Plax, you think Flint probably knows how to build this place from scratch, you know? Drada, you're like, all right, well, that's a confident man.
I think Flint thinks given enough time, he could figure out how this all works. But...
I mean, saying given enough time, do you want to spend more time here now to try to figure things out? Or like, you'd be interested in future visits or helping the folks at the Burning Needle figure shit out? Like, what are you envisioning there?
I mean, I'll kind of leave that up to you in a way. Like, if you'd rather spend a day or two here trying to get it to work before we go talk to them, I'm happy to try. I don't know if it's going to take a day or a week or a year. It might be a quick fix. It might take a really long time and a lot of work. So we could try for a quick fix and then let them know, or just go let them know and then come back and work on it.
I mean, let's find out what this verdant pathway is and move forward.
All right, then. Do we need to do any other exploring before we flip these levers? So I think we looked around this place, but I apparently missed Flint sweating about something, so...
Flint, you were really sweaty. I'm sorry.
I'll look at the group and just be like, "You guys aren't gonna let this go, are you?"
Nope. Sure. Yeah. What Aesop's hand gestures are saying? That Very bad.
Okay. I'll say it looks like you're incredibly uncomfortable talking about something. You don't have to. Just know that you can't really hide much from us.
Yeah. So,
But okay.
so you guys know I had some run-ins with the Jade Mask back in Flame Bridge.
I knew it. Sorry.
So this has nothing to do with them. But between when I worked with them and when I met up with you guys, I had a run-in with another group that I've been kind of on the run from since. Called the Dawnbringers. And they didn't have a very positive outlook on vampires and seemed like kind of a badass group of people. And when I encountered them, they had somebody named Sebastian. I don't think it's a smart idea to try and go digging into these guys. But that's on you and your people, I guess. From what I've been able to gather, nobody's heard of these guys, but they have some clout from pretty high up. And they're not a group I'm interested in trying to tussle with.
EM question. If I remember correctly from earlier, / my notes are correct, the Sebastian I'm thinking of is a member of the Eclipse, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Interesting. Cool.
To be clear, they had captured someone named Sebastian.
Oh, I misunderstood that. I thought you were talking, there was a party member of that party. Great, thank you.
No, he was definitely not there on his own accord. I strongly suspect that these are the same people, the Sebastian that we're reading about here. And there.
That would kind of be a weird coincidence if it wasn't.
Yeah.
It probably had something to do with the destruction of the blood banks then.
This would have been a fair bit after the blood banks were shut down, I think.
Yeah. Timeline wise.
Because blood banks were like 20, 30 years ago or something.
I think the blood bank. No, the drought was some 20. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, correct. Some 20 odd years ago is when the blood bank was shut down.
And this was more like 4 or 5 years ago, somewhere in there, maybe 2 or 3. I have to really go back and look at my backstory.
I mean, how did you get involved with? If you don't want to talk about it again, don't. Feel free not to. But can you tell us more? How'd you get involved? I'm curious.
It's a long story. Glad I'm not, or I've managed to separate and stay off their radar, so
I guess moving forward, I feel like if you do see someone from that group or an emblem, that you'd be best to steer us away from that direction, at least for now. But I think the rest of us do got to know what we kind of got to look out for. Just kind of help you on the other end of that too.
I guess, Kevin,
They don't really have emblems. They're uniform. I mean, they're. I think when we talked about backstory stuff, the description we had sort of hung up on was kind of like your classic Diablo demon hunter, like hand crossbows, leather armor, um, like hand crossbow with one hand, sword in the other, light on their feet type folks. At least like from some of the, not that you necessarily, I'm not revealing that you saw anything in particular or anything like that, but they were they had a sort of fashion about how they created and wore their armor and sort of the equipment that they used, but they sort of like were meant to be a little under the radar.
Yeah. I'll try and convey their look. You're like, you'll know when you see them, but they tried to keep pretty secret, and nobody I've talked to has heard of them. Things I mean, if your group is really interested in trying to dig into these guys, I can point out where they were on a map, but I don't know that I think this is a group you want to go sending your Eclipse people after or anything.
You considering is this okay? Are they just like they're an adventuring party like our size, or they're a larger organization? Like
This felt like the government in some way or another was putting together a force.
oh, good state sanctioned violence. How fun!
I know that, but like it didn't feel like it certainly wasn't just an adventuring party. This was a big group. They had like a keep and like a small, I don't want to say an army, but a sizable group. And plenty of resources.
Where are they based? They have a keep. Are they in Cambridge? Or?
They were. Hang on, let me get a world map. They were near Propitious. Propitious,
yeah. In the mountains north of it.
Yeah. But kind of off the beaten path. Like they were intentionally secretive. Like I at some point asked the Unifiers about them, and they hadn't heard of them. I asked Avendir to look in, just like if he heard anything, let me know. And he didn't seem to have heard of them. So I don't know. I got the heck out of there and ran and haven't looked back in like 4 years, so or 3 years, 2 years, some number of years. And
I mean, I'm glad you got out. I didn't know that this organization exists. That's mildly terrifying. That's pretty cool. Clax, you never heard of them or anything? Your time in the guard?
Sorry, say that again, Drata.
You never heard of them in your time in the guard? Is it news to you?
No, never heard of him. But I do look over at Flynn at that point, just kind of give him a nod. Okay, I get it.
Well,
But no, I've never heard of him.
appreciate that you could open up about this kind of stuff. Hopefully nothing too bad happened to you while you were there, but
I mostly am just trying to not get us in,
trouble.
digging into a group that's gonna be over our heads, and I've tried to keep pretty low profile for a long time, and so far it's worked. But if we start throwing that name out there, I don't know. I did not leave on good terms. Like that.
I see.
And
It almost sounds
You
like an
want-
org that you can't really leave from if it's supposed to be super secretive.
My best guess, given that I haven't heard from them, is they assume I am dead or something. I don't know. Because yeah, I think if they knew someone out was out there that knew about them and their location, they'd probably be looking, and I'd have noticed. But
So what makes you think it was state sponsored?
Flint would know this, and I have to go back and look at my backstory, but I think that was just the impression I got.
Maybe like all the resources they had, the money.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just the vibe I got from them was that they had, they had some connections, they had resources, they had a big keep, they had a lot of money, they had, some political influences, it seemed. I don't know. I don't think you just build a small castle up in the mountains without somebody noticing on an island this small. If you don't
Would
have
also be
something
funded by illicit drug trade? Or are we talking beyond that money?
I don't think so. I wouldn't
Okay.
rule it out, but I don't think so.
It is not spelled out in your backstory. I was just checking. Roll me a history check. See what you recall as far as what those connections to the state could have been. Hey, there
I
you go.
remember all the things.
I think it came up in small talk with somebody who you worked with, or somebody who you were with while you were there, and it was strictly a rumor, and I don't think Flint really chased the rumor at all or thought much of it, but and Flint doesn't know the name. Nobody knows the name, but somebody thought that the Unifier General was the same person as the Dawnbringer General. And I think at the time you didn't have any context over what a unifier was, so it didn't even because you had never been to consonants. But I think you're sort of putting that together at the moment.
I convey all that, but as rumors that I had heard.
And
That's
the
what I'm
unifier general is a figure that nobody really understands or knows much about. This is not somebody.
There goes my next question.
Yeah, this is not somebody is not. I've previously described some guards, the leaders wear helmets to indicate their leadership. The unifiers are the opposite, where they don't wear helmets, and all the regular unifiers do to sort of hide their identity. The Unifier General is not a figure that has been publicly seen.
Well, Flint, thank you for trusting us enough with this.
I figured I wasn't going to hear the end of it if it'd say something.
Let's be honest with this group.
I'm glad pestering works, and I'm more glad that you have enough faith in us as people to share the same.
So, does anybody else have any questions for Flint? If not, I really want to get out of this dark, dank little dungeon. So can we flip these other levers and get out of here?
Yeah.
Let's do that. Prada also might run back upstairs and try to hide some of the entrances, just make the place look like it hasn't been torn through, or, shutting some doors that we opened, etc., etc.
Wasn't the door to into this place a big vault door or something?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but behind
That we caved in.
Yeah, No, it wasn't this one. It was the next one back was a big vault door, which is a big heavy thing here.
Oh, but it was.
It had been. It didn't cave in. It just sort of slammed open with the pressure of the water. It still has hinges.
But that doesn't cut off access to the like heating area over here.
No,
Oh.
no. There's doors upstairs, sort of like locked wooden doors that I think Drana goes up and closes, which would sort of make things appear maybe normalish on the outside. Drana, give me a stealth check. That's pretty good. You meander upstairs, try to be as quiet as you can. I think as you close those doors upstairs, there's a recognition that this big vault door is its own beast, and there's probably no, especially with the rust that is sort of coating the back of it, there's probably no quiet way to close it. So you could choose to leave it open if you would like.
If it's gonna screech and squeal the entire time of closing it, yeah, no, I'm not gonna close it.
Yeah, but you leaving just one door open. I'll just close these just because. Leaving just that one big iron door open, you rejoin the party back in the lever room.
You didn't hear anything while you were up there, did you?
Nothing came. I didn't notice anything specifically. I didn't notice anything specifically, did I?
Go ahead and roll a perception check. I can't find Flint. Where's Flint at? Is Flint under somebody?
I'd went over to the vault door or the pressure door. I can come back to the group.
Oh, my automaton token from upstairs was over top of you. 16. It seemed pretty quiet out there.
Really attracted my attention specifically.
Presently, I think Flint would recognize this. You would need to unpull the levers to close the vault door in order to initiate a new sequence. So with quick work, now that the rust has been shaken off a little bit, you guys, Clax probably goes over, pulls the levers one by one in reverse order, seals the vault, having recovered as much as you can out of it. And you're trying to do not the pull all at once, but you're trying to do the verdant path.
Yep, Topaz, Diamond, Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald.
Okay.
Hopefully, that's correct. If anybody wants to correct me, feel free.
That's what my notes say.
Okay. You all, and I assume Starry Form, a lot of your sort of stuff that was up is gone by now.
Yeah.
Yeah, my cannon's even probably gone by now.
Yeah, it's probably been over an hour just with the talk and the.
I'd refreshed Clax's shield once just to.
Yeah, Clax, you're back up. You pull the levers and reveal you start to hear the sounds of another set of latches opening behind this wall here. And as it opens up into a recess in the ceiling, you see.
I was RPing because it was right behind me. Sorry.
No, all good. You see a kind of like a simple chamber that has some like discarded beddings and just sort of like rags within it, and a sort of like long carved sort of like broken flagstone hallway that expands into a more like natural rocky tunnel to the east.
Shall we?
You know what, y'all? This probably might lead
outside the wall. This might have been like an escape for them if they needed it. So, I mean, we can go all the way through, just it might lead outside the wall, so we have to go back through the building.
Do we know it's east?
Yeah. I think you have your sense of direction. This is not a complicated building.
Depending on how far east, I think we might still be inside the wall, but we might be close to the edge.
We can still check.
And not the edge as in the region, but the edge as in the actual delineation.
I mean, let's follow it and see.
All right.
Alrighty. Gonna bring you guys back to the consonants map. As my entire window refreshes. Whoa, are the lights broken for you?
Nope, I don't think so.
They look very stark. You continue down. The path starts as just this. When you saw this bedding, it seemed to be an area that maybe a few people could sleep at, but it wasn't really well equipped beyond that. But as you sort of start to go into the tunnel, it starts to expand into more of a cave system. Famously, what the Left Stars end up in every couple sessions is another cave. And it seems to continue on. So what is your marching order / strategy as you're navigating this space?
If you guys don't mind, Clax can go forward with the light from the axe, as long as Drada doesn't want to go first and be in the darkness.
I'm happy to. Yeah, I can go ahead of y'all a little bit.
Then I'll hang back a little bit with my axe out, just because I don't want to blind him or take away his shadows, or take away the darkness that would be provided.
Well, Drada, what is your sort of how is Drada sort of navigating the space or trying to scout?
I think Drada's taking notes as we go of like if there's branches in the paths, which path we're taking, just so by the end, like, oh, when I bring this back to the Hook of the Burning Needle, I can like give you a route in, and you know which pathways you need to take coming in if you want to come in this way. Yeah, I think still looking for, given that this would theoretically be heading to the outside world, looking for traps or deterrents in the things as we go, but staying comfortably ahead, but still within talking range.
Okay. Give me a perception check, if you do not mind. With a 16, you do see that several paths start to branch out. You see particularly in this sort of moment of choice, you see a path that sort of leans northeastern, that starts to curve more northwards, and you do see a sort of second path that is more southwards. So it's sort of like creating a T intersection, so to speak. With a perception 16, you hear like the sound of chittering sort of towards the north. Like the sound of like something insectoid. And it's not like a cacophony of anything, but it does sound, you don't know how close because it sort of is creating this echo down the hallway, but you do hear sounds towards the north.
And these are sounds that I wouldn't be like, yes, the lovely outside natural world.
I think you would not recognize it immediately.
Great. I think at this T intersection, I in hushed tones, just go to everybody as we get let myself look invisible in the light. Like, hey, so sounds like there's some loud chittering bug sounds to the north. Are we feeling like we want to get a little buggy, or just want to turn the other direction?
What do you mean chittering?
I mean, like, and try to best replicate what I heard.
Flint?
I mean, if our goal is to make this place safe for Burning Needle folks, seems like maybe we should clear out the bug.
Are we feeling like we have the capacity to do so at this moment?
Yes, with concern.
We're fine. We're so capable, and aren't we trying to open a guild for just this purpose?
I don't know if just this purpose.
Yeah, maybe that's what we should be doing. Maybe we should just give up on adventuring and just become like exterminators,
That's an odd job.
Odd job. Maybe we just need to. We're the left stars. We're the odd jobs now. I mean, I'm more than happy to investigate a bug situation and see if it's quickly get riddable.
I mean, yeah, we'll wait right here because not all of us are stealthy like you. So we might
I mean,
accidentally
if you
step
want
on
to
it.
follow slowly behind, come on through, everybody. Let's go to
No.
the north.
Not with this armor anymore.
Well, I don't make loud noise anymore. I have a breastplate. I'm just not good at
I'm
seeing.
going. I'm going north. We're going north. Okay, we're going north. If bugs kill us, great. We died. Great. Let's go.
Hearing the talk of bugs, Flint's gonna burn a first level spell slot and summon his flamethrower cannon. That seems like what you do for bugs.
Okay. Draught, are you still taking a forward approach, or what is the marching order?
Yeah, I think I am still taking a forward approach. Once we get close enough to see what the situation is, I can halt everybody and we can strategize from there.
Okay. As you sneeze. No, it's all good. Okay. I guess let's do a group stealth check, assuming that is in order.
I'm more than happy to pass without trace.
Can I guide Clax?
It'd be appreciated.
Okay. So
Straight roll.
Yep. Well,
Whoop, whoop.
pass without trace is +10, not advantage.
Plus 10.
Oh no, she was guiding me. I heard.
That's just
Guidance
because-
is +1d4. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh no.
What's the advantage? What's the advantage? What's the advantage?
Wow, double nat ones.
So disadvantage.
Favorite action.
It's like
This is
legendary
it-
figure.
yeah, and also it's super funny because this is the first time I've needed to stealth with armor on. So like I'm like trying to like do my best to like do what Clax and my dad have shown me, and clearly I am failing that.
Why?
I think I dropped my shield. I'm like, oh shit. All right, sorry guys. I'll like pick it up.
Fox has the best stealth out of any of us.
We're fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had a +1 because of your
Oh,
guidance.
sorry. I saw Flint's 8.
Yeah, no. Clax is 14. So we have 14, 8. Oh, sorry. It is 24. Sorry, yeah. Pass without trace. Let's be real. And you technically, like, rules is written, you can't natural one a stealth check. You still add your modifiers. That said, this was a double natural one. And I do feel that there's some respect that I have to pay to that.
It is, yeah, it is. It has to be done.
So in totals, we do have a 24, 18, 19, 15 technically, and 22. Go ahead and I guess what does that look like for you? Like Aesop, you're covered in the darkness and the silence of Drada's magic. How do you fib it?
Well, I think because this is my first like stealth like activity since like getting the armor and getting the shield and like practicing with wearing it on and wielding it, I think I try my hardest as best as I can to really like remember the moves that my dad and Clax have shown me of just like, okay, like I'm in a stealthy situation. I want to keep walking like this. I want to hold my shield like this. And like I step on something or like I twist an ankle Minotaurs have ankles, yeah. I like twist my foot because I like step on it wrong. I like take the next step wrong and I like totally stumble and just drop my shield. Like it just clanks all over the floor. I'm like, oh god.
I think the fabled action sort of homebrew thing. What I think what this renders as is years from now, when your heroic deeds are told, there are moments of great comic relief of the two-tailed Minotaur legacy. And
we're not the stealthiest people.
And just how unstealthy you are is a story that years from now somehow will make its way into the ears of bards and storytellers across the continent. Aesop, the one who tripped, and fate befell them. Well, you guys are stealthy, all things considered. I am going to roll a perception because that is sort of necessary in this instance. Normally, I would have this be a skill check of sort of passing and failing, but because of the natural ones, I think there's still a chance. +1. Aesop totally eats it. And in the moment of you all just sort of like pregnant silence, you listen and the chittering continues, but you don't sense any escalation.
I'll just stand there like, that was real bad. Sorry.
I envision the whole group is just turned around and staring at Aesop.
You can't see Drada right now, but just know Drada can see you. Drada is flipping you off frantically waving her hands 30 feet ahead of you right now.
Drada rolled a natural one as well, but it wasn't, as bad.
Yeah, no, don't worry about that one. It was just less funny.
As you lead the pack, Drada, and you are sort of outside of the range of all of the light. You turn down a hallway and you see a creature that is not terribly large. It has kind of like a insectoid chitin. It's sort of like a chitinous frame to it. It has these sort of like two feathers that are dangling from in front of it with that sort of serve as the antennas, and it sort of has like the shape of a big dog. It's not terribly large, but you see at this point I think it's like 60 feet in front of you, and it seems to be like sniffing around the walls and not walking in any particular direction. Seems to be, I say just at a glance, like it's scavenging for something. And you do see it and know that you are undetected for the time being.
It's looking or scavenging for something.
Yeah, it has sort of like it's kind of an ugly thing, and it has like this long tail with a few feathers sticking out the end, and it's sort of like trying to pick at the stone on the wall. You see like it sort of bites off a chunk of stone and then spits it out.
Mouse, can you like speak bug or?
I mean, sometimes, but I don't think I can today.
Should we try and like just eat it?
I'm just. Are we cool if I just attack this creature and just try to get it done, get it dead? It's a large bug. I don't know.
Can we just shoo
have
it
moral
away?
reservations about that.
I mean, is it hurting anything?
It's
I mean, it might
currently
have
pulling at the wall and trying. It looks like it's trying to eat or find something. It's scavenging.
In fairness, if Drata attacks this thing right now, Drata will like do a ton of damage.
Obliterate it.
Yeah, why don't we just scare it off?
What does that look like?
I could do thaumaturgy and just have a really loud yell. Can I do that? Or I could do thunder. I could do a rumble of thunder.
And we don't know that it's not going to come back.
It's not doing anything. You do you. I don't know where you are. I'm talking to darkness. You do you.
Yeah, just it bites off another chunk of wall and like starts to walk towards the other side of the wall. You get like in this time that you're talking, it seems like it's not finding whatever it's looking for, but it is sort of like bouncing off the wall closer and closer towards where you all are in its search. It's not tunneling when it's biting the wall. It is sort of trying to scrape up something that's in the wall or on the wall.
Can I just look at the walls and just see if I notice anything like notable? Are there any veins of a particular mineral or something? Or
Sure.
That's where my brain also.
Yeah, go ahead and roll.
I'm happy to give you help.
Yeah. I'm going to I want Flint to roll I feel like I'm just going with Smith's tools because we're talking it's not just like straight intelligence, it's more your blacksmith that you're using, blacksmith energy. You can have received the help actually, because I think Drata said they were helping. Okay, I think Drata's. You guys are combining Team Dark Vision to just sort of scan the walls with. I mean, I think initially you don't get any sense of anything because you're relying on Dark Vision, but once sort of you, because Dark Vision sort of brings things into a black and white state generally, but when you sort of take that same thinking back to the group in the light of Clax and any other light that is currently active, with a 30 you do perceive like iron veins running throughout this hallway, not to the degree of riches. This is not like a huge mine of any kind, but you do see like the occasional like ingot or small vein.
oh, so I don't know if Flint knows what this is, but if he does, I think his eyes light up because I think Flint figured out.
I think Flint, as a blacksmith, knows exactly what this is and does not want to engage it.
Flint starts backing away and is all like, "Is just you shoot it. I don't want anything to do with this thing."
Wait, should we be running right now? What?
I think it's a rust monster. And it'll fuck our shit. Well, it'll hurt our gear. Is my hunch as to what this is.
Okay, so I should end it now. Is that what you're telling me to do?
I think, well, and if it's here and looking for iron, there's a shitload of iron back there at the blood bank that it would chew up. So I don't think we want this thing down here.
Love that. Love that decisive energy. I'm gonna go shoot this, everybody. Great. Thanks for finding iron. That was really fun. Love that excavation. Okay, cool. Yeah, Andrada is back within firing range. Right, lines up.
Unloads on it. All right, go ahead and just
Yeah.
roll your attacks. We're not doing any initiative for the time being. The question is, can you kill it in one salvo?
I don't actually know how tough monsters are.
Okay. Oh, the real question is, I have sharpshooter. Do I use sharpshooter?
Do you have advantage?
Yeah, if you have advantage, probably.
Yeah. Hunter's Mark gets cast.
Okay. So we're gonna treat Hunter's Mark as the bonus action of this turn. You're not gonna get an
That's
extra
fine.
attack.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and roll 3 attacks with advantage. They're all auto crits. I think this thing's already dead. Oh, yeah, I think even with just 2 attacks, it is already dead.
Great, love
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So don't worry about the Hunter's Mark. You did it as a, it wasn't a waste. It was a precaution, and you're still concentrating on it. But you unload 2 arrows into it, and then a third just to be safe. As the chittering stops. This thing is just like dead in its tracks without any chance to react. And I think Flint would recognize. Flint, give me a history check. Retroactive advantage because because this is a anti-blacksmith sort of thing.
Fair.
Okay. It's sort of a freebie, but you do know, I don't know that this is canon normal D&D, but you do know that rust monsters are not individual creatures. This may have been a single one that was scavenging, but there's likely a hive of some kind. Or maybe not like a hive like a billion of them, but this wasn't the only one. And I think you sort of have to wrestle with what to do about that.
Yeah, guys, there's probably more of these, which I really don't love the idea of them potentially eating our equipment. But if they find their way back to the blood bank, I mean, they could do a lot of damage.
Maybe we can close this section off somehow?
I could close it off a little. How big is the opening?
I'd say in just from your standing view, there are, you sort of look around, there are a few spots that are like 10 feet wide if you wanted to try to collapse or cover it up in some way. Or like a 10-foot diameter, I should say.
It would be easier if I came back tomorrow, because then I could just put up a stone wall. But I think I could potentially block it off in 3 5-foot sections.
That could work.
Do we, just a thought, do we want to check back the other way and make sure that's the way out and that we're not
Please, and
walking out? Yeah. Let's
All right,
do
so go
that.
back the other
And
way. Make sure it's a good way out and safe entrance.
Okay.
block off, make some walls.
Okay.
Just to throw it out there, if for some reason this direction with the rust monsters isn't just a dead end with a big nest of rust monsters, if it's like another way out that happens to be like outside of the walls of the city, would it be advantageous to have both an inside the city and an outside the city entrance? I
probably.
don't know if that's true, but
It would probably be for them if in case they needed to escape outside the city for some reason. But are we prepared to destroy a nest right now?
Let's go south first, see
Yeah.
what we get, and then reevaluate.
I mean, yeah, we can come back at another point if we're feeling, if we can put up something temporary against them from getting back to the bank, come back through another time, get rid of the best problem. That doesn't sound like the end of the world to me.
I think Flint might like heft a small like metal ball in his hand and be like, I do have like one pretty sizable spell left for the day if we could find them all in a small area. They don't appear all that strong. But if that doesn't go well, then yeah, we're dealing with who knows how many rust monsters. Let's check the
Where
other
are
way.
we feeling? Yeah, let's do that. South we go.
Make sure we have one exit.
As much as I was really looking forward to destroying your new breastplate and armor, and Googling all the rules to see if mending is even possible, and it's not.
You said Iron Vein, and it hadn't even occurred to me until then, and I'm like, oh, jeez.
So you all go in the other direction. Is there anything you're talking about as you're walking and just sort of navigating this space? At this point, you've been underground for a couple hours between the bank itself and sort of navigating this tunnel. Is there anything that sort of the group talks about while walking?
Where do you guys think this comes out?
I'm sure it'll be nowhere problematic for us at all. There won't be any inciting incident that will happen afterwards. It'll just be a really nice clearing that we can get away from really easily.
If we're going south, my bet is inside the marbled walls.
Yeah, it's kind of what I was trying to decide if I thought was going to happen here.
That kind of,
That
I mean, the verdant way makes, yeah.
Wouldn't that
That'd
be
be kind of
something?
fun.
Yeah.
That could be handy.
We just don't have any note that says we're allowed in the marble walls. It's the only problem if we decide to do
Yeah,
that.
I mean, and we make then we turn around and we trek back and we go out the front door.
I mean, I assume they don't just go around like asking for ID on everybody in the marble walls. It's just when you go through the big gate. So if we're just there and act natural, which like Clax and I are great at just playing it cool. It'd probably be fine.
Let's see where it ends up.
Yeah, if
Was
you
it-
need someone to pretend like they're an official or a guard, I'm a great actor, as we all know.
You all continue down this path. 30 minutes pass, 45 minutes pass, and you start to turn eastward again. Just sort of as you're, I think Mouse is a maps person, and even though you're underground, the pathway, these tunnels are not complicated enough to get lost in. and as you start to turn eastward, you start to see light ahead of you. And as you sort of poke your head around a turn, you see the sky ahead of you with no land out, like no buildings, no nothing, as you're looking eastward.
Watch your step.
And it's sort of as you get closer, you're still stealthy and cautious in sort of a passive way. You reach the threshold of where the underground meets the above the ground, and you see three things. One, you see a straight path off of the island. If you were to, this is sort of ejecting from the side of the island, like a sort of stair. It's sort of like a path that would not be visible from flat land. The only sort of other two things you see, one is that the only ground that you can sort of stand on is a stairway that is sort of curling up the island, up towards the left side of the wall. And you sort of just like look up there, and you do see white walls, and you can gauge that you are just not naming an exact spot, but you are looking at the walls from a southern angle.
Southern looking north.
So southern looking north.
We are inside the marble walls. Oh boy.
Does this I'm imagining almost like a tunnel that just empties out the side.
Yeah. With only stairs that seem to be built to go up onto land.
Could you land or dock a ship here?
Are you asking like how big the stairs are or how big the tunnel is? Like, what is your question?
In my head, it's sort of like all the Star Wars things where they can fly into a bay.
Yeah. So I've previously described at least like the skyports as having like upside down hooks that you would sort of land in. You do look down. Give me a perception check. Sort of like hanging off the edge ever so slightly. With a 11, you think that there's enough of a clearing to install something like that, but presently you don't see any signs of it.
We don't know how to use those hooks yet anyway.
Well, your ship could just fly straight into the tunnel.
Okay. And the marble walls are problematic to vampires, right? Like,
They sure are.
and they're problematic just for for us legally. We shouldn't be here. I think this is good to know and could be useful, but we should probably go check the other way and see if we can find another way out.
As in, go to bug extermination direction? Or just leave through the front door?
I think the extermination's probably the better bet for now. Keep this, to Flint's point, keep this on the down low as a possible place. The only thing I'd ask is, do we want to take a short rest before we go back into that nest?
Doesn't seem like a bad idea.
Yeah. We have pretty views, right?
Might as well enjoy them.
That's fair.
Just think about the life of luxury we could be living several steps above.
Y'all, I tried so hard to get our guild to be in the marble walls. I tried so hard. A dream that could have been.
I mean, they didn't say no for sure.
It was in a polite way that he said no.
All right. Feel free to enjoy a short rest. But
Wow.
feel free to chat during this time.
I can't make it stop on short rest.
I genuinely have no idea how it works because I've never done it.
I'll refresh and see if.
What are you trying to do, Mouse?
Well, now I'm at the gray screen. When I click short rest, it would like start to pop up the window and immediately disappear.
Oh.
I can do it on your behalf for the short term just to keep things moving if you want me to. I assume you want to spend as many hit die as it takes to heal.
Yep.
Oh, this is neat. I like this. That it just is so automatic. Okay.
Is anyone
It is.
else? Go for it.
No, please. Yours is a lot more
Is
important.
anyone else having a problem of sometimes when they roll dice, they just see the shadow of dice and not dice themselves?
Nope.
That's
No.
happening. Okay, I'm gonna try refreshing Foundry and see what happens.
At my end, I was just going to say the short rest system in this is so much better than the D&D Beyond short rest system. That's all.
That's good.
I agree.
Well, you guys, you guys
as
are
we're-
just sort of resting and enjoying the space.
I think as we're like everyone's resting and healing, there weren't any hit points that I had to totally recover from, so I'm just kind of chilling out. I think I might have my legs dangling from the side just because we don't get this experience a lot, so might as well. And I think I would pull out the distant journal and just write out to Avendir, just kind of more of like a check-in, like, hi, how are you? How are things? Any updates for us that we need to be aware of? Hope everything has gone smoothly on your end. And before I send it out, I'll turn around and look back to the rest of the group. Writing a message to Avendir, does anyone want me to say anything specific? More of just like a check-in. It's been a little while.
Is there anything we should ask about based on what we've learned?
Did we already ask Avendir about the guy that we were considering selling the cask to?
Oh, from the
No.
rich asshole.
I don't think we did.
You've asked Avendir. You're like, do you know anything about this person or that person or that person? It's like,
Yeah, that's
He's a
fair.
connect.
you're like, do you know Master Crex? Which I think was your last message to him, actually.
Yep. It
Yep.
sure was.
You know the Dawnbringer.
What day is it at this point?
It is fall the 18th.
Only 18th.
So you would gauge that he is on his way to Cliffwatch for the... On his way or just arriving to Cliffwatch for the auctions based on the schedule.
How many more days do we have left before we can go back and ask about the guild?
I mean, we can go nag them whenever we want.
I mean, they said a week.
Yeah, I know that our sessions are sporadic sometimes, but I think it's only been like 2 days.
That's why I said it out loud. Someone could guess.
At least a full business, a full business week, 5 days.
I don't think I heard all that, Drada. Can you say that again?
It was a dumb bit. It's not worth hearing. I
We
don't
should probably
have
give it a
anything-
few more days, but
Okay.
Yeah.
Then
and
I
I don't
will.
really have anything for Aventine, so
Okay, I'll send it off.
Okay.
Love Aesop.
Yeah,
Boop.
of course. Yeah, during the course of the rest, you get a. I think it's not an immediate response, but it is a pretty short response of just sort of business is good, still on schedule. Let me know if you need anything.
So nothing too terrible has happened to him. Everything's on schedule. I gotta get rid of a page on my inventory now.
Technically 2 pages, because anytime he writes back is a page.
Oh, I don't know if I've been doing that.
I've been retroactively doing it sometimes, but
Hot. Okay. It's appreciated.
if you could do it from now on, that'd be great.
Yes. Absolutely. Here we go.
I think during this short rest, Flint's probably just mostly kind of off to himself and quietly maybe like playing with that thing he's been working on building with the failing with words right now.
It's a fulgurite. It's a weird word, yeah.
Yeah. But otherwise, not doing too much. I don't.
Roll me a tinker check just to see what kind of progress you're making on it. All right, that's reasonable. I mean, it's plus 11, but it's it's a very intricate work. Can't be done in an hour, but you are making good progress and strides. You think, another day or so that you should be able to finish it.
Cool.
Or even tonight if you don't have distractions. Drada, do you have the sword? This would be a time to attune to it if you so choose.
to attune to it.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
I'm happy to attune to it.
Okay. I think you just sort of like focus on it for a while. There's something. Roll me one of your top secret D20s.
One of my what?
Your top secret D20s.
Oh yeah, baby.
It's not that high. There is now roll me a D10, sorry. I think this is appropriate, but you're starting to attune to it and thinking about sort of the history of presumably what happened to Jasper inside of that vault, and if this was Jasper's blade potentially, sort of thinking about what that means. And there is sort of like you're getting flashbacks, not of personal experiences, but of what you expect it would be like to sort of watch everything you sort of worked to build fall down around you, and then for you to end up being trapped in this room, probably intentionally. You're sort of playing that moment in your head of what that could look like. You're not receiving actual visions, but you do sort of have, I think some of you look at Drada, who was sort of holding, you guys have seen people attuned to things before. You sort of like try to familiarize yourself with it and try to connect some kind of your energy to it. And what you all observe is Drada staring blankly at it, unblinking.
For how long?
Longer than should be true. Like not just a sort of watching somebody blink it off, but they're certainly not attuning to it.
Who's the nearest person next to me?
Whatever.
Whoever it is. You got eyes on this? Whoever wants to be next to me can be next to me.
I mean, what do you mean?
That look great. I go like wake him up, touch him. I'm gonna go touch them. Going over, kind of nudge on the shoulder.
Am I like, is content? Am I?
I think you're a
in
little.
the
I think you're
trance?
I think you're a little unresponsive for the first few shakes, and I think Clax gets a little harder, and then you sort of like get out of it a little bit, but you're still feeling the after effects of it.
Are you okay?
I'm great.
Great as in curse sword great,
It
or
was really, really fun, and I'm sure. Yeah, I'm. The thought of slowly dying alone in a room for 30 years is not a fun. Sorry, there might
what are
not
you
be
getting at?
context. I'm assuming this was Jasper's weapon, and we just killed Jasper several hours ago. So that's just a lot to think through, and I didn't know that vampires could become what we saw. So I'm learning and unlearning a lot, and really having a fun time holding the sword. It's great.
Do we need to separate you? Like, is it bad? Like, are you becoming a threat?
No, I think I'm just associating it. But no, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna bite you. No.
And kind of instinctively goes for the haft.
Oh no.
Do you want me to just throw in a bag of holding for a while? Do you just not want it?
No, I might just holster it for a minute. If I have a holster or means of doing so, and we'll try that again later when we're not pondering the end of things. Yeah. Sorry.
All right. Kind of.
Beth is weird with vampire world stuff, and just wrinkles it further. So yeah, thank you for the shoulder shake.
Okay. Kind of take a step back before I turn to walk away. And make a mental note.
Yeah. Just asking the question, how ready is, like, in Drada's mental state, you can interpret this how you wish. Is Drada done for the day? And you know, it's like, you got to go to work, you don't want to go to work, but you gotta, your friends want to go kill some rust monsters. Is Drada in it?
I think Drada could very easily be done for the day, or could very easily do the thing where, no, I push through and I'm totally fine for whatever I need to be, and then collapse afterwards and like have like condense the bad times for later. But they'll be worse. So I think that's kind of where he's probably at, of just realizing like, okay, we're gonna get through the rest of the day, and then it's gonna be dark for a minute. It's gonna get dark. Is kind of where he's at.
So that's the plan, is to go through with it.
Yeah, of just, if people are feeling, I'm the one who brought everyone here, and I'm just be grateful that people are still feeling gung-ho about doing more things and being more of help to people that I want to make a good impression on. So I shouldn't get in my own way of doing that. And if we need to spiral, we can spiral later, and that's fine. Yeah, not in a good place right now, but in a workable place.
I love bottling up emotions.
Yeah, it's really great and healthy.
Yeah. Well, the short rest concludes, and as I understand it, you all continue backtracking a bit towards the northern path, where you believe a rust monster colony may be. That is the best place to stop because I don't want to. We have 15 minutes. Let's just be real. We don't have time for that. So we will end it there. But I think everybody is good for next week. Is that still accurate? Okay.
Monday next week.
Yeah.
Woo!
Woo.